Good afternoon, everyone. It is I, Gina, coming to you from my bedroom, where today we are going to do the December Christmas Curio cabinet tour. And it needs to be done because the day after tomorrow is Christmas. So we're going to dive right into it today. This has been a fun one to do because I love red and green together. You know, when you think of Christmas colors, most people think red and green, and it was fun, of course, to gather all the red and green objects and then some Christmas things that I have. Of course, most of the Christmas is out in the living areas with the Christmas tree, but I stole a few pieces to put in here to complete the cabinet and make it look pretty. Hope you all are having a lovely season. Holiday Christmas season. It's been pretty hectic here, so but it's been enjoyable, and like I said, this was super fun to do. So let's get into, now that we've looked at the overall bits of the cabinet, let's get into the individual pieces that I have. So first off, these shoes, these fantastic Edwardian silk satin shoes. My friend Brendan Miranda of Miranda Millinery, I bought these from him, and I'm going to show you what he had done research on them and sent me a link, and oh my gosh, these little dots right here were where an original bow would have been. So I'm going to post a picture so that you can see what those would have looked like with the bow. They're just fantastic. I love the shape of them. Aren't those beautiful? Ah, love antique shoes. And then right here we have a lot of millinery this time around because flowers and feathers are happiness. So this is a lovely, look at that color, such richness. An ostrich feather for a hat. And then I have scattered throughout some antique postcards. And then this right here, this is super fun. Nope, gotta get it with the other hand. So this is an antique toy that I purchased from my friends Sherry and Louie Cutlers. So what you do is you squeeze down here and the frog does this. Oh, too fun. I can imagine the little boy or little girl that got this for, you know, Christmas or a birthday or just whatever, how much fun they would have had. No, it's not our computers or our Game Boys or, gosh, Ataris and what else? I don't know what else. But still, a lot of fun. Trying to get the frog to flip over. Okay. And moving on, we have some more millinery pieces. Some poppies and a beautiful, very wide silk ribbon. And then these beautiful flowers sent to me by my sweet friend Amy Barrick. And a vintage handkerchief with poinsettias and some lovely leather gloves. And these are some of those lingerie clips that I received from Witchy Vintage. And this book that is about Abraham Lincoln. And I love that there is an image of him playing hockey. And the book is green. Perfection. A drawn bonnet, probably 1860s. Isn't it beautiful? I mean, look at that lace. Matches the silk perfectly. All hand stitched, and this is cane. And just very beautiful. And a ladies' home journal from 1911. Let's see if we can get some more. Isn't that a fun scene? I know, I just like it. And then on the mannequin, we have a 1920s beaded necklace. I love these so much. I just can't even imagine. I think that's crocheted somehow. And then this sweet child's cape. It is made of wool and silk. The silk, of course, is shattering because that's what weighted silk does. And the inside it's probably polished cotton. Not 100% sure about the age. The only other one I saw was an adult one in the exact same style, but they had it dated to the 1860s. And I doubt that this would have gone over the fullness of the skirts in the 1860s just because it's so narrow. So I'm wondering if it's second bustle or natural form, and natural form was about 1876 to 1883, and then bustle was 1884 to 1889. So I don't know. Still just super, super cool. And then it ties around the neck up there and has a little pop-up collar. All right, now we're going inside. And some of these things you've seen before because they've been in other themed months, but we have millinery straw right here. And then that perfume bottle was my grandma's, my mom's, her name was Iva. And then a vintage box decorated in poinsettias, and that looks like holly. Yeah, cool. And then down here is another beautiful, hold on. Yes, we'll get back to that because my brain, man, I hate it when that happens. And then that brooch, isn't that beautiful? That was given to me by my friend Joy Byland. I believe it was last year or this past February. We were at a program at the Bishop's house in Boise, and I commented how beautiful it was, and she says, well, you can have it. Here you go. Thank you, Joy. I love it. Ooh, compact. That's what that's called, a compact. And then we have some more millinery feathers and another postcard. And this book is so fun. It's called Christmas Holidays in Rome. Perfect. And it's green. Perfect for the cabinet here. And a brass buckle. And that is a brooch. And before I broke it, this right here it's on a spring. And so when you move, it would tremble. And they would call those forms of jewelry en tremblay, I believe is the French. I probably totally butchered that and I apologize. But a fun brooch. And then this star alpaca braid is hem braid. And I will show you, I'll get a picture in here that's showing where that would have gone on a skirt, and it would have protected the hem of the skirt from, dragging along the ground or whatever, but it just protected the hem, which sometimes was made out of silk or velvet or another really fine fabric, and the wool protected it. And our little, that looks like an elk. Elk, that's probably an elk. Or deer. That would have held a calendar. So that was early Edwardian up into the teens era. And then some antique yo-yos because they're red and they fit in and could have been given for a Christmas gift. Then I've got some 1940s shoes with some more feathers. Okay, second shelf here. I've got a folding fan and a little dolly with red. And then that does look a little bit blue, but that purse is actually a nice seafoam green color. And then some fun reflectors. Now you would have put that little hole right there, where's my finger right there, you would have put that on a light and it would have reflected the light on the Christmas tree. And then this right here, cornucopia or cone, those would have been filled with candies and hung on the Christmas tree. Again, such pretty antique design right there. And then, yay, Scotch tape. Isn't that fun? I've got a couple of those on here. This one says, Merry Christmas. And then some more 1940s shoes. Oh, and this right here is a pendant that belonged to Greg's great-grandma. Beautiful. And then over here we've got some more Scotch tape. And this right here, this is an antique box that held fans. So this would have been for Christmas, specifically for a Christmas gift of a fan. And it's so beautiful. I just love the print right there. And this is fun. My great uncle, Oral Walters, made that. That's fun. Probably in the 1930s. Because he was born, let's see, he was older than my grandpa. So he was probably born in 1918, 1919. So it could have even been the 1920s. Isn't that neat? I love the illustration. He just went and cut down a Christmas tree. And some more millinery feathers. And this box right here held some wonderful ornaments that got the ornaments on the tree, so the box had to go in here. And then I've got some, just some baubles. Oh, and I got to go over on this side because these are so fun. Hold on. So these are vintage, like new vintage, probably from the 1950s, 1960s. But these are in progression. So this one right here, if you can see this little stocking, that green tag, you would have removed that tag. So this is full. This has all the things in it to make this one on the end. There we go. So you would have taken that green tag off and then you would have cut. Oh, maybe I should go back inside. Anyway, okay, so look at that and remember that. So right here, it's all stuck together. But were I to shake it, you would hear all the bits in there. And then you cut this one open and you get the candies and the toy and the white strip out to put around the top of the boot. Okay, and this one is open. Oops. So that top has been cut off. Oh, I dropped the candies. But then you have candies, and this one's open, but there's that cellophane wrap. That would have had candy in it, and I've got three. I've got this yellow, and then there's a red and a green, and then this little plastic car. So there were candies and a toy. Isn't that fun? But then what was also in that one right there was that strip of white with glitter to go on the top of the boot. So not only did you get the boot at the end, but you got all these fun toys. Isn't that cool? And then, of course, the Age of Innocence and Sir Mortimer, because, red and green. All right. So we'll go down here to this shelf. And this is a late 1920s cap, metallic, and it looks like, oh, it's not chiffon. It's something. Isn't that beautiful? And down there are some sequins. It's just a beautiful cap. And then right here, let's see, we have shoelaces. And I got these from my friend Patty. And again, I'll link all of these people's Instagram accounts in the description. That pretty though? We're talking red. How awesome is that? And then some ribbon to wrap gifts in, or whatever. It's very pretty metallic. Okay. And then back there are the linen disposable collars because the package is green, so perfect. And then some more refills for the Scotch tape dispensers. And this is a sweet little booklet about Christmas sheaves. I think this book is The Hunchback of Notre Dame, but it's in there because it's a shade of red. Then a buckle, and this box that I have, I can't remember what I have in there. I just use this box to hold various antique things because it is so pretty. And an antique cup and saucer set, and oh, look at these baby shoes. Aren't those sweet? The little baby booties. Oh, and this box contains a candle in the form of a giant snowball. I think that's so fun. And then some Santa Claus decals and a beautiful antique Christmas postcard and another yo-yo. Okay. Then down here, there's some more Christmas velvety flocked gift seals. Woohoo! And then the Tavern novelty candles. Those are snowmen. I just like the box though. And then that is a box of buttons. I think those are my white ones. And aren't these fun? No more drop stitches. The no tear hose protector. So the discs would have gone in the garters so that they would not have poked a hole in the stockings. Aren't those fantastic? Cannot remember where I got those from. Try and remember. Another Scotch, pretty tape. And some green baubles. And this back here came from my Aunt June's, I believe it was either her mom, my great Aunt June's, either her mom's or her dad's. I cannot remember, but isn't that fun? Learning how to spell. And then I had to have some shiny, bright ornament boxes in there. Some books. These are pretty gloves. I think they're nylon and velvet. And then that's a miser's purse. And a needle. This belonged to my great-grandma Nani, Hazel Prudence Palmer Chrysiser. Some more Scotch tape and my green lace-up granny boots, probably from the Edwardian era. Edwardian teens or 1920s, so, but look at how narrow those are. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's all for the cabinet, and we'll move over to here. This is just an old hat box that I found many years ago, and that when I'm not decorating for Christmas, that has Christmas stuff in it as storage. Anyway, isn't it beautiful? I love it. And then Greg's aunt gave me this box right here that belonged to her mom, Grandma Twyla. And then look at all of these beautiful handkerchiefs that were in it. And because they're red and green, they get to come out for Christmas. Thank you, Auntie M. All right. Then we come up here, and I just put some poppies on that white fur hat with egret feathers and some beautiful ostrich feathers because red, Christmas. And then we come to our final display over here. And I got to get my notes. St. Lucia Day is celebrated on December 13th. And young ladies who represent St. Lucia wore a white gown, red sash, and crown of candles on her head. She carried cookies and saffron buns on a tray, and those symbolized bringing the light of Christ back into the world's darkness. Now, before, I think it was the 1920s, there was just a celebration, and then there became a promenade where children or adults or whoever were involved in this celebration, they would promenade throughout the town or throughout church or wherever there was a large gathering. And so there was one young lady that represented St. Lucia, and then she had her handmaidens who also carried a light. Okay, so in modern times, after the 1920s, young men would join the promenade or the procession, and they were called star boys, and that's where this cone comes in. Let's see, before the 1920s and that procession that happened, where are my notes? The young boys were celebrating, I believe it was St. Stephen's Day. Hold on. Yes, St. Stephen. And they had their own little celebration for St. Stephen's Day. I believe it was December 28th. But then after the procession happened, the young men were, the Star Boys for St. Stephen joined in the St. Lucia procession at the end. And not only did they dress in these white cones, they also wore white capes, but it wasn't a cape, a robe. And they held lanterns on the end of sticks. Again, just bringing the light back into the world. And this was, isn't this sweet? I just think it's so cool. There's mica, and it's decorated with a star that's been sewn on, and some very old sparkly bits. Yes, of course, I can't remember what that's called. Tinsel. There we go. But it's interesting because these cones are made over, so the cone was made with newspaper, and then it was covered with this fabric and then decorated. So that's a Starboy cake, a Starboy cap. And then down here, another part of the Swedish celebration. This was, okay, so they were called Nisse, and I'm probably screwing that up. I'm so sorry. Nisse. And in modern times, they're a mythological creature from Nordic folklore. And Nisse are associated with the winter solstice and Christmas. They are generally described as being short, having a long white beard, and wearing a conical or knit cap in red. And so these two caps were used as part of the Christmas celebration. And I didn't find, when I went to the estate, I didn't find anything that was the St. Lucia candle wreath, but I like to think that, you know, they had a fun celebration with the Nisse and the Starboy caps. So anyway, there you go. There is the Christmas and December Curio Cabinet tour. I hope you guys have an incredibly blessed Christmas, and I will talk to you next year. All right, guys, have a good day. Toodaloo.